AI, AGI, ASI. It's a real alphabet soup, right? You've definitely heard these terms thrown around, but what do they actually mean? Well, today we're going to cut through the jargon and break down the 3 key levels of machine intelligence that are shaping our world and our future.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the AI that's already familiar, something we use every single day. Then we'll look at what's on the horizon, the big goal everyone's chasing. And finally, we'll get a little more out there. Then we'll pull it all together to see where this is all headed.
All right, first up, let's talk about the AI that is literally all around us right now. It's called Artificial Narrow Intelligence, or ANI for short. You can think of this as ground zero. It's the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
And I'm not kidding, you really do use this every single day. This isn't some far-off science fiction concept. It's already here, running quietly in the background of our lives, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed.
I mean, just look at this list. You've got Siri, you've got Netflix, you've got the chatbot you were just playing with. On the surface, they all seem completely different, right? Answering a question is nothing like recommending a movie. But here's the thing. They are all examples of this first, very specialized level of AI.
And that's the key takeaway for ANI. It's a specialist. You could even call it a one-trick pony, but it's a really good one. Think of a world champion chess program. It's an absolute genius at chess, but it can't take that skill and suddenly know how to trade stocks. That's ANI. It's brilliant, but only inside its own little box.
Okay, so specialists are useful, but what's next? What if you wanted to build an AI that's not a one-trick pony? One that can learn and reason more like us? That brings us to the next stop on our journey, the hunt for Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI.
I absolutely love this quote from Steve Wozniak because it's so simple but so profound. Think about what that actually means. It's not about following a recipe. The AI would have to navigate a new space, identify the coffee machine, find the beans and a mug, and figure out how to operate the whole thing. It's about problem solving and adapting in the real world, something today's AI just can't do.
So if ANI is the specialist, AGI is the ultimate generalist. It's often called strong AI for a reason. We're talking about a theoretical machine with the kind of flexible, adaptable, and common sense intelligence that we humans use to navigate the world every day.
So what's the recipe for AGI? Well, it's a pretty tall order. We're talking about an AI that can transfer knowledge. What it learns in one area, it can apply to another. It would need abstract reasoning and maybe even consciousness. Yeah, it gets deep really fast. We're moving way beyond just pattern matching here.
All right, you might want to take a deep breath for this next one, because now we're moving past human-level intelligence and into territory that feels a lot like science fiction, or maybe science fact to be. Let's talk about Artificial Superintelligence, or ASI.
The key word here is surpass, and I don't mean just being a little bit smarter. We are talking about an intelligence that would be to us what we are to a chimpanzee or even an ant. It wouldn't just be faster, it would be smart in ways we literally cannot comprehend.
And this leads to a really wild idea called the intelligence explosion. Picture this. The moment we create a true AGI, an AI as smart as a human, what's the first thing it might do? It could start improving itself, making itself smarter, and that smarter version would then make itself even smarter, and so on. It's a runaway feedback loop that could blast past human intelligence and into superintelligence in a shockingly short amount of time. Maybe days, maybe hours.
The potential here is it's staggering. Imagine an intelligence that could cure every disease, reverse climate change, and end poverty. But, and this is a huge but, it also opens up a Pandora's box of existential risks. What happens when we are no longer the smartest beings on the planet?
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from the phone in your pocket to the edge of imagination. Now, let's put all 3 levels side by side to really see how they stack up.
This chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? You can literally trace the evolution. We start with ANI, today's AI, which is amazing at one thing but has zero ability to transfer knowledge. Then we get to AGI, which is strong across the board, just like a person. And then you've got ASI, which is just off the charts in every single category imaginable.
And if you thought the capabilities were escalating, just look at the stakes. With ANI, we worry about stuff like bias and privacy, super important problems. But with AGI, the questions become philosophical. Does it have rights? Is it conscious? And with ASI, well, the conversation becomes about our own survival. The problems get bigger, a lot bigger. So the billion-dollar question, or maybe trillion-dollar question, is when is all this going to happen? And, more importantly, what are we doing to get ready for it? Let's dig in.
So, when can we expect AGI? Well, if you ask the experts, you get a lot of different answers. Some of the biggest names in tech think it's right around the corner, maybe even in the next few years. Others think we're still decades away. The honest truth? Nobody knows for sure, which just goes to show how huge the challenge really is. And these are some of the key players in the race. You've got the giants like OpenAI and Google's DeepMind, but what's really interesting is you're also seeing companies like Anthropic, whose entire mission is built around safety. It shows that people aren't just trying to build this stuff, they're also thinking really hard about how to build it responsibly.
So, what do? We can't just sit back and leave this to the tech companies. Getting ready for advanced AI has to be a team sport. It's going to take governments creating new rules, open conversations like this one, and a serious global investment in safety research to make sure we get this right.
And all of this brings us to the final question, the big one. As we get closer to creating something that can truly think, how do we make sure it thinks in a way that benefits humanity? How do we build our values, our ethics, into its code? This isn't just a tech problem anymore. It's a deeply human one. And answering it might just be the most important thing we ever do.